Looking to have your day brightened up? You're in the right place. Welcome to the #Positivity Podcast with Jason D.
Hey guys, thanks so much for tuning into the podcast. A little bit of a different style episode today. I have no guest with me in the studio, but I'd like to first, send my condolences out to everybody that's been affected by this crazy shooting that happened over the weekend in Las Vegas. Like many of you, I woke up on Monday morning, I went into work, and honestly, I hadn't seen or heard anything about it yet until I got to the fire station and was just completely shocked when I saw the news. There was a list of, the deadliest shootings that had happened in the U.S., and I looked at the top and there was this, 50 people dead, and I, very, very briefly thought, well, when did that happen? Before I realized that this is something that had happened, that night before. And it's just unbelievable. It's, there are no words to describe the feelings that we all, have when something like this happens. It's overwhelming. We're not prepared for things like this. And I know we just had Irma and Hurricane Maria and Harvey, and we can't forecast things that happen like they did on Sunday. We can prepare for the weather to some extent. We can give warnings for hurricanes, things of the like. But when it comes to situations like what happened in Las Vegas on Sunday, there's no warning for something like that. Sure, there are maybe warning signs for the people who carry them out, and sometimes there aren't. But it's really important that we come together and take care of one another in times like this. Some people handle things better than others. Some people are just deeply affected when things like this happen, and it's a perfect time to lean on one another. If you need somebody to talk to, find a friend that you can talk to about it. If you want to, reach out to me, I'd be glad to speak with you. Just bounce some ideas back and forth. Try to make sense of it all, which will never happen. We can't make sense of things like this. It's senseless. It's cowardly. It's senseless. It's evil, and unfortunately, we're never going to erase that from the world that we live in. What we can do is try to find the positive in the situations like this. And I know that's extremely difficult to do, and it's easier said than done. But now that things are starting to settle down a little bit, we're starting to see some really, really heartwarming stories come out of this situation. Watching the news this morning, I believe it was the Today Show had a reunion of a gentleman who was injured at that concert, and he was reunited with another guy who was able to help him out, help him escape, get to safety. And you can just see the love between people in situations like that. People stuck around while they were being shot at, while their friends were being hurt or killed around them, and they made the decision to help other people out. They helped their friends, they helped their family members, but they also helped complete strangers. They helped people who they had never met before in their lives. And that's the kind of stuff that we need to look at in situations like that. We can't focus on the shooter, why he did it, his reasoning, because we might never find out. And I don't remember the shooter's name. Frankly, I don't care to recall it. I'm not going to look it up. I just don't care about that. But there are a lot of great stories that are going to come out of this as the days progress. Unfortunately, the toll is probably going to rise. There will probably be more people who pass away from their injuries. People who are injured will, likely not make it through surgery. That none of us can say for sure what's going to happen. But what we can do is look to those positive stories that are going to come out of this, learn a lesson. If you have children who attend concerts, if you attend concerts yourself, maybe take that extra couple minutes to look around, see where the exits are in these venues, see what you can do, how you can get out if you needed to. Another really scary thing about situations like this is that the amount of people trying to escape These venues aren't necessarily built to let people in and out quickly. There are security checkpoints so that people can't just attend these venues without paying. But, take a look around. There might not be a really easy way to get out, but there might be some place to take cover if you need it. There's going to be some place where you can tell your friends, hey, if anything happens, we're going to meet up here. It goes back to the days when you were a little kid and you had that tree in your front yard where your parents told you to meet if there was ever a fire at the house or you needed to evacuate. Come up with little things like that where you can, make it that much safer for yourself if you need it to be. Don't be afraid to go out and visit these venues, attend concerts, go to ball games, sporting events. That's what gives these people who create terror the win. We don't want to give them the win. We want to continue going on with our lives like we normally do. We want to enjoy our lives. We want to enjoy our friends, our family, have a smile on our face, keep spreading love. That's what's really important. So I implore you guys, take a look at the headlines the next couple days. You're going to see, like I said, inevitably, you're going to see that death count. You're going to see the number of people injured. You may see it rise, but you're also going to see a lot of really, really positive stories come out of this. As I mentioned, there are a handful that I saw this morning. There are countless situations that some of them we'll never hear about, but I guarantee you that a lot of them are going to come out over the next days and weeks. If you guys are willing and able to donate, there is a GoFundMe page set up. It's called Love Army for Las Vegas, created by Casey Neistat, who is a YouTuber, fellow content creator, and if you haven't seen his videos, which I would be surprised if you hadn't seen at least something of his, take a look. He's on YouTube. If you go on Google, you can search Love Army Las Vegas. You're going to find that GoFundMe page. I think in the last 21 hours, it looks like they've raised just under $200,000 at this point with a goal of $1 million. I, again, have nothing to do with this GoFundMe page, but I've seen the things that Casey has done in the past, and this is a really, really worthy cause. There is a video on this page, and right now I'll play the audio from that, part of the audio from that. Casey does a much better job of describing this and how the money will be spent and what it's going to be used for than I could, and then we'll come back to the show.
I went through this kind of range of emotions that's not really unfamiliar, but it starts with being really angry, like I want to do something, like I want to catch this mother. And then that anger slowly turns to grief, where I just feel terrible for the victims and the victims' family. And then it usually settles down by, like right now, and the emotion that I feel now is one of helplessness. Helpless because I'm just one person and I don't know what I could do. And when considering what resources I have that could help people, I think the greatest resource is this YouTube channel and you, this audience, an audience that I've called on in the past and that has been incredibly generous anytime I've ever asked anything. I'm starting a GoFundMe, a fundraiser, and I want to raise as much money as possible, and I want to give that money to the families of the victims themselves, the survivors, the people directly affected in a physical way from this just horrific attack. And I say with full respect and appreciation for the fact that money will not bring back the lives that have been lost. Money won't heal somebody's wounds. Money won't solve the anguish and the sadness and everything that's being felt by the people and the families of those victims. Money can't fix any of that. But maybe a little bit of money can help someone with medical bills. Maybe a child who lost their parent, maybe they could buy some new toys and be distracted for an hour. Maybe money can buy a family a meal, they can go out to dinner, and they can talk about things. I don't know. But this was the only form of action that I could think of, And I know that in times of grief, it's not a time when you want to be thinking about earning or thinking about finances or thinking about any of that stuff. So money could be helpful there too. Now, logistically, there's a lot of unanswered questions here. I will tell you that I will personally make sure that none of this money is given to a charity or a nonprofit that will take a fee from it or anything like that. I will work with individuals, I'll work with people, I'll work with organizations that will help me figure out how to get this money, the money that we pulled together, directly into the hands of people. No middlemen taking a cut, nothing like that. This video you're watching right now is monetized. I put an ad at the beginning and an ad at the end, so all of the AdSense revenue from this video will also be donated. And all the pragmatic stuff, all that will be updated on the GoFundMe page. I think the important thing is to harness how I'm feeling now and how I imagine others are feeling right now, which is this desire to do something. And if giving $5, if giving $10 means that somebody on the other end who is dealing with this can do something positive with that, then that's an action, then that's something. I want to end this by saying that it shocks me that any one person is capable of being that evil. And the shock that I feel must be nothing compared to the shock that the people actually personally affected by that evil must be feeling. So this campaign should be a way of showing those people that there's a lot of good out there. There's a lot of good people out there. And our desire, our capacity to help maybe can mitigate some of what's being felt by this evildoer's capacity to commit evil.
So, guys, like you just heard, Casey has created this GoFundMe page, as I mentioned. He's put a video out on YouTube. He has millions and millions of followers. His reach is much, much broader than mine is. And I know that he's going to do a great job with whatever he can do through this fund. So again, if you are able to donate, if you're willing to donate, I think this is a good place to put your money. I will be making a donation to this GoFundMe account, and I have a couple events coming up over the next weeks that I'll try and do a little bit of extra work to raise some more funds that we can give to this campaign. Again, the number of victims of this are countless. It's a lot of people, and there will be unexpected medical expenses. People are going to be out of work. People are going to need to pay bills. Life goes on when something like this happens, and unfortunately, you still have to worry about the financial aspects of life. So let's try and take some of that burden off of these people. They've gone through enough already. And as I mentioned before, just keep looking for the positive. There's going to be countless heartwarming stories that come out of this. Pay attention to those. Don't worry about why the man who did this did it. He doesn't deserve our attention. He doesn't deserve our time. The victims of this tragedy do. So look for the positive. Positivity is undefeated. Be kind to people. Spread love. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll talk to you next time.
Thanks so much for listening to the #Positivity Podcast. Online at #positivity.org, on Facebook at #positivity, and Instagram, the official #positivity. If you liked the episode, please rate and review. And remember, positivity is contagious. Sprinkle that madness everywhere. We'll catch you next time.